Elias Ward pushed open the door to his small living quarters, expecting the same quiet space he returned to every evening. His room was never impressive, just a narrow bed, a metal desk, a storage locker, and one window that looked out toward the dusty plains of Horizon Spire Colony. But tonight, something felt different before he even stepped all the way inside. The lights were dimmer. The air felt warmer. And there was a strange scent, sharp, metallic, and unfamiliar. He frowned and set his toolkit down. "Lights, brighten," he ordered. The lights snapped to full strength. That was when he saw her. A woman lay crumpled on the floor beside his bed, unconscious, breathing softly, her skin a pale silver blue that caught the light like polished stone. Her hair was long and dark with streaks that shimmered like starlight. Her clothes were thin, woven from a fabric he didn't recognize, and her hands were curled close to her chest, as if she had been trying to protect herself. Elias froze. What in the world? He checked the hallway behind him. No one. The door had been locked when he arrived, he was sure of it. And there was no way someone could slip an unconscious alien woman into his quarters without the security system noticing. Unless someone wanted it to happen. He stepped forward slowly, lowering himself to one knee. She looked peaceful, but her shallow breaths suggested exhaustion or injury. Her skin was cool, but not cold. There were faint marks on her arms, almost like burns, but not made by any tool he recognized. Elias took a breath. Computer, run full scan of room entry logs for the last 6 hours. The console on the wall blinked. No entry detected. No door openings recorded. That's impossible, Elias whispered. Before he could think further, the woman stirred. Her eyes opened large, bright, and violet-colored. She looked at him in confusion, fear, and a strange alertness, as if trying to judge if he was a threat. "It's okay," Elias said quickly, raising his hands. "You're safe." She tried to sit up, but winced. Elias helped her to the bed, moving slowly so she wouldn't panic. She allowed it, though her gaze never left him. "Can you understand me?" he asked gently. She blinked once, then twice. After a moment, she nodded. Elias let out a breath of relief. "Good. I'm Elias. Elias Ward. You're in Horizon Spire Colony, Sector 12. Her lips parted. S's pyre. Her voice was soft, musical, and strained. She knew the name or recognized it. That was something. He grabbed a water pack and offered it to her. She examined it carefully before drinking. Her hands trembled, but she didn't spill a drop. "What happened to you?" he asked. The woman closed her eyes for a moment. She looked tired, not physically, but deeply, as if her mind had carried a heavy burden for a long time. "Lasha," she whispered. "My name." Elias nodded. "Lasha. Do you need medical help?" "I can call a med unit." "Lasha." At that, she tensed quickly and grabbed his wrist. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "No," she said sharply. Elias blinked in surprise. "All right." She let go and relaxed slightly, though her breathing remained uneven. Before he could ask more, his door chime buzzed loudly. "Colony admin priority visit." Elias frowned. They almost never came to personal quarters without notice. He stood and whispered to Lasha, "Stay here. Don't worry. I won't let them do anything." She watched him with cautious eyes but didn't move. Elias stepped to the door and opened it. 2 colony officers stood outside Director Hale, a tall man with white hair and sharp eyes, and his assistant, Mara Lynn, holding a tablet. "Elias Ward," Hale said. "Yes, sir. We understand you found a visitor." Elias narrowed his eyes. "Found?" "She was already in my room when I returned." "How did she get here?" "Found in my room, locked to inmate." "Found in my proper." "Found did she get here?" "Found did she get here?" Hale ignored the question. "You will house her for now." "What?" Why me? You are low on the administrative chain, Hale replied. No political ties, no military ties, no scientific clearance. That makes you the perfect neutral caretaker until we determine her status. Elias felt irritation rising. She's injured and scared. She shouldn't be my responsibility. She needs help. She will receive it, Hale said. But quietly. No reports, no public announcements. You will follow our instructions exactly. And if I don't? Mara Lynn stepped forward. Then your colony privileges may be suspended. Elias stared at them. Disbelief. Turning into anger. You're threatening me? For finding someone in my room? Someone who could have died? We are maintaining order. Hale said coolly. Now step aside. We need to confirm her identity. Elias didn't move. I won't let you take her. That made Hale pause. Take her? No. That would cause questions. You keep her. Observe her. Provide food, shelter, and a safe space. She will not leave your quarters until further notice. Elias blinked. That makes even less sense. But Hale had already turned away. Follow the assignment, he said over his shoulder. We will contact you. The officers walked down the hall without another word. Elias shut the door slowly, his mind spinning. Something was wrong, very wrong. Colony leadership never hid information like this unless there was danger or political pressure. And bringing an alien woman into his locked quarters without record was not just strange, it was impossible without serious access. He turned back to Lasha. They know you're here, he said. But they won't explain anything. They want you to stay with me. Greater, nowhere. Lasha sat on the edge of the bed, her hands resting lightly on the blanket. Her eyes seemed calmer now, though still filled with quiet fear. Humans, she murmured, always split. Split? Elias asked. Some want peace, some want power, some want secrets. She touched her temple as if trying to steady a headache. What were you running from? She opened her mouth to answer, but a sudden trembling passed through her body, and she clutched her head. Hey, it's okay. Elias knelt beside her. You don't have to push yourself. After a moment, she relaxed again. You helped, she whispered. Thank you. Elias offered a small smile. Anyone would have helped. She shook her head. No, not anyone. Silence filled the small room. Outside, the wind blew dust across the colony walls, and distant machinery hummed. The colony always felt isolated, but tonight it felt like the entire world had closed around Elias's tiny room. He sat across from her, leaning against the wall. Lasha, how did you get here? This time, she answered. I was taken, she said softly. My group was attacked. Ships destroyed. I escaped, or was pushed. I do not know. I was drifting, hurt, until something pulled me. A signal. A field. She looked directly into his eyes. Your colony found me, or someone inside it did. Elias's stomach tightened. So someone brought you here on purpose. Yes. But not for peace. Her voice trembled slightly. Something hunts me. Machines. Drones. They track my kind by our biology. Elias swallowed. Are they coming here? She looked away. If I am here, they will come. Elias stood abruptly. We need to warn the colony. No. She grabbed his wrist again, her eyes sharp. If you speak too early, the wrong people will act. The hunters may already be near. Your leaders may already know. Elias stared at her, uncertain whether fear or determination was stronger in him. Then what do we do? Lasha took a slow breath. For now, you protect me, and I will tell you everything, when I am strong enough. Elias nodded. All right. You can stay here. No one will hurt you if I can help it. She seemed relieved. Thank you, Elias Ward. He sat beside her, the reality settling in. Just a few hours ago, He had been a simple maintenance tech with a quiet life. Now an alien woman was in his room. The colony leadership was hiding something, and unknown machines were possibly coming for her. Elias looked at Lasha again. His quiet life was over. And something big, something dangerous was beginning. Elias barely slept that night. He stayed awake in the small chair across from his bed, watching Lasha rest. She slept lightly, as if her body expected danger at any moment. Every small sound from the vents, from the hallway, from the colony's power grid, made her flinch. Elias felt uneasy too. Someone had brought her here. Someone wanted her hidden. And now the colony expected him to take responsibility for her, with no explanation. When morning came, the colony speakers echoed with the usual announcement. Shift Cycle A begins in 10 minutes. Report to assigned stations. Elias rubbed his eyes. I have to go to work, he said softly. Lasha opened her eyes. Work? Yes. If I miss a shift, the supervisors ask questions. He stood and grabbed his toolkit. I'll lock the door from outside. No one should come in. But if anyone tries, don't open it. She looked worried. You will return? Of course. Lasha hesitated, then nodded. Elias stepped to the door panel but paused. If anything feels wrong, call me through the console. I'll come running. Her expression softened. You are kind, Elias Ward. He smiled, though he wasn't sure kindness was the right word. Mostly, he was confused and trying to do the right thing. He left the room, locking it behind him, and headed to the maintenance sector. Strange tension in the colony. The halls of Horizon Spire were busier than usual. People whispered in groups, glancing toward security drones that hovered silently above them. Something had put the entire colony on edge, though no one said anything openly. At the workshop, Elias's friend Joran was already tinkering with a power conduit. You're late, Joran said. Unusual for you. Just rough sleep, Elias replied. Joran raised an eyebrow. You look like you saw a ghost. Elias almost laughed. If only it were a ghost, those were easier to deal with than a living alien woman hunted by unknown machines. Before he could respond, Supervisor Hana walked in. Everyone, listen up, she said. Security sensors detected unusual signals near the colony perimeter last night. Could be harmless interference or a dust storm reflection. But we're doubling patrols. Just in case. Elias stiffened. Hunters? Already? Joran whistled. We haven't had perimeter trouble in months, Hana continued. If you see anything strange, anything, you must report it immediately. Elias felt a knot in his stomach. Reporting Lasha would be the smart thing to do. He knew that. She was unknown, potentially dangerous, a risk to the colony if she was being followed. But she was also scared, alone, running from something bigger than he understood. And someone in the colony leadership was already hiding her existence. No, he couldn't report her. Not yet. Encrypted clues. During lunch break, Elias sat alone in the maintenance storage room, thinking about everything that had happened. He needed answers, so he activated his handheld terminal and searched through the colony's internal logs, not the public ones, but the deeper files he could access as a senior maintenance tech. He typed, unregistered arrivals last 72 hours. The screen blinked. No records. Elias frowned. Someone had scrubbed the logs. He searched again, this time digging through backup data clusters that weren't as easy to modify. Searching. A hidden file appeared. Encrypted message, level 7, clearance required. Elias wasn't level 7. But he knew a few tricks. Maintenance staff often had to bypass broken locks or corrupted security gates. He used a diagnostic loop to trick the system into thinking he had temporary access. The message opened. It wasn't long, just a short report. Sarathi vessel detected in decaying orbit. Survivors possible. Retrieval unit dispatched. Maintain silence until further instructions. Elias stared at the words. A Sarathi vessel. Lasha's people. His heart pounded. So the colony did know about her arrival. They had sent a retrieval unit. He scrolled further. Another line. If contact occurs, keep subject isolated from general population. Subject. Not person. Not diplomat. Not guest. Subject. Elias shut the terminal angrily. What are they hiding? Lasha's memories. When his shift ended, Elias rushed back to his room. He scanned his access card and stepped inside. Lasha sat at his desk, studying a holographic map of the colony. Somehow, she had accessed the console. You figured out my password? Elias asked. Surprised. Lasha nodded. It was not difficult. Well, good to know I need a better one, he muttered. She smiled faintly. Elias sat beside her. Something happened today. Sensors picked up signals outside the colony, and I found a file saying your ship was found in orbit. Ah. Her expression darkened. Then my fears are true. Tell me, Elias said. Why were you attacked? Lasha took a long breath. My people sent envoys to many worlds. We wanted understanding. Trade. Peace. Not all Sarathi agree with this path. Some believe contact with other races is dangerous. Like a political split? Elias asked. Yes. My group was peaceful. But another group, more secretive, wants control. They use machines. Drones that follow any Sarathi signature, unless shielded. Elias leaned forward. These hunters, are they from your own people? Lasha shook her head. No. They were built by those who broke away from our councils. They act without rules. They want me because I carry information, proof of their plans. What kind of plans? Lasha touched her temple. Information to start a war between Sarathi and humans. Elias's stomach dropped. Why would they want a war? Fear, power. If our people fear humans, they will follow the ones promising safety. And humans will defend themselves. Both sides lose. Elias rubbed his forehead. So, your attackers want chaos? Yes. And someone here in the colony might be helping them. Lasha nodded slowly. I felt it. When I was brought inside, there were two groups, one wanting to protect me, another wanting to hide me. Elias remembered Director Hale's cold expression, his refusal to explain anything. Yeah, he muttered. Hiding is exactly what they're doing. Drones in the dark. That evening, alarms blared across Horizon Spire. A sharp, buzzing tone echoed through every speaker. Warning. Perimeter breach detected. All personnel remain inside secured zones. Elias jumped to his feet. Lasha stood instantly, alert and tense. It begins, she whispered. Elias grabbed his terminal and brought up the live feed from the outer cameras, something maintenance staff could access. The image on the screen made his blood run cold. Small, spider-like machines crawled across the outer desert sands, moving in smooth, coordinated motions. Their metal bodies glinted under the sun, and their single red sensors glowed steadily. Dozens of them. Maybe more. Lasha stepped closer. They found me. They always find our energy marks. Even hidden ones are not perfect. Elias tried to steady his breath. The colony will send security teams. Lasha shook her head. Your guards do not know how to fight them. They will be overrun. Elias watched as the drones tested the colony shield, pressing against it like insects tasting a barrier. But if they want you, he said slowly, why haven't they attacked yet? Hunters are patient. They watch first. They plan entry points. Elias shut off the feed. He felt the weight of everything pushing down on him. responsibility for her safety, danger to the colony, secrets in the leadership. "We can't stay here," he said. "If they break through, my room is the first place they'll search for you." Lasha nodded. "There is one place safer. The underworks. Old mining tunnels. Abandoned. Dark. But deep. Machines cannot easily track heat or energy in those places." Elias blinked. "That's exactly where the colony stores unused tech and old mapping servers." "Yes," she said. "And where you can find truth." Elias swallowed. "About the colony leadership?" "About who brought me here," she replied. "And why." He didn't like the idea of breaking into restricted tunnels. But staying in his small room while hunter drones circled outside felt worse. "All right," he said finally. "We'll go. Tonight." Lasha stood beside him, calm but determined. Outside, the machines pressed harder against the colony shield. Inside, Elias felt the first spark of something he hadn't felt before: resolve. This wasn't just about protecting Lasha anymore. It was about uncovering a secret that threatened not just them, but everyone in Horizon Spire. Night came early to Horizon Spire. The colony lights glowed softly across the metal walkways, and the wind pushed dust against the walls like tiny fingers tapping for attention. But inside Elias Ward's quarters, the air felt even heavier. The hunter drones had not attacked yet. But they were waiting outside the colony, shield, silent, patient, and watching. Elias stood at the window, staring at the faint red glows in the darkness beyond the perimeter. He counted at least 15. "They're multiplying," he muttered. Lasha stood beside him. Her violet eyes reflected the red lights outside. "They will not stop," she said quietly. "They are programmed to follow a target until they succeed." Elias grabbed his pack. "Then we move now." Stepping into the unknown, to avoid attention, they left through the maintenance corridor. Elias swiped his access card, pretending everything was normal. A few workers passed by, but no one questioned him. Everyone was too nervous from the alarm earlier. "Stay close," he whispered. Lasha nodded. She moved lightly, almost without sound. Even though she looked tired, she was alert, like someone who had lived with danger for a long time. They reached a metal door marked "Restricted, Old Mines." Elias glanced at Lasha. "Ready?" "Yes." He typed a code, then used a small tool to unlock the old magnetic bolts. The door clicked open, letting out a cold breath of stale air. They stepped inside. The tunnel stretched downward, lit only by weak emergency strips. The air smelled of old stone and rust. These mines had been abandoned years ago, when the colony found safer places to drill. Elias turned on his portable lamp. "Watch your step. Some of these floors are uneven." Lasha nodded and followed him deeper. Voices in the dark. As they moved through the tunnels, the quiet grew deeper. Their footsteps echoed softly against the stone walls. After several minutes, Lasha spoke. "You trust your people." "Most of them," Elias replied. "But after what I saw in those files, I'm not sure who's giving the orders anymore." Lasha ran her hand along the wall. "Not all humans want harm. I know that. But someone here wants silence. Someone wanted me hidden." Elias thought about Director Hale, about his cold tone and strange behavior. "Hale," he said. "He knew you were here. He pretended he didn't." Prose. "You fear him?" "No," Elias replied. "But I don't trust him." They turned a corner, reaching a wider chamber filled with old machinery and rusted mining carts. A thick layer of dust covered everything. Lasha stopped suddenly. "Elias," she whispered. "Do you hear that?" He listened. A faint clinking sound echoed through the darkness, like metal tapping against stone. Elias raised his lamp and scanned the room. Nothing. Then the sound came again from the far side of the chamber. He stepped forward cautiously. "Maybe a loose pipe," he said, though he didn't fully believe it. Lasha closed her eyes for a moment, focusing. When she opened them, she looked uneasy. It is not a pipe, she said. Something is moving. Elias held his breath, listening. The sound grew louder. Something was here. The first encounter. Suddenly, a shape darted across the tunnel floor, small, fast, and metallic. A hunter scout. Run! Elias shouted. The drone leaped toward them, its red sensor glowing bright. Elias swung his lamp, hitting the drone hard. It crashed against a wall, but quickly regained its legs. Lasha grabbed Elias's arm. This way. They sprinted through a side passage just as the drone fired a burst of sparks at them. The air sizzled where the shot hit the wall. Elias didn't look back. They kept running until they reached a lower level with broken support beams and old wiring. The drone followed. Elias grabbed a loose cable, yanked it free from the wall, and whipped it at the drone. The metal wrapped around one of its legs, slowing it. Lasha moved fast, far faster than Elias expected. She kicked the drone's sensor, cracking it. Sparks flew, and the machine collapsed. But Lasha didn't smile. This is only a scout, she said. The others will come. Elias caught his breath. How did it get inside? The colony shield should keep them out. 8. 1. Lasha looked toward the ceiling. If someone inside lowered it, even for a second, that is enough. Elias felt a chill. So someone inside the colony helped the drones. But who? The hidden terminal. They moved deeper until they reached a large underground chamber. This one was filled with old servers, dusty consoles, and cables hanging from the ceiling like vines. Everything was silent, but the faint hum of power still moved through some of the machines. This is it, Elias said. Old mapping servers, old logs, everything the colony didn't want to throw out. Lasha approached a central console and rested her hand on it. This system is old, she said. It will not reject my touch. Elias blinked. Your touch? I can interface with certain types of technology, only simple machines but enough. Her hand glowed faintly as the console lit up. Elias stepped back, amazed. That's incredible. Data filled the screen, old messages, hidden logs, encrypted orders. Lasha searched quickly, her fingers moving gracefully over the console. Then she stopped. I found something. Elias stepped beside her. The file displayed a message written by a colony official, someone high-ranking. The Sarathi envoy holds key data. If secured, it will give us control over negotiations with human command. Cooperation with the rogue Sarathi faction ensures shared benefit. Deliver the envoy quietly. Do not alert Director Hale. Elias read the words twice. Wait, so Hale isn't the one hiding you? No. Lasha said softly. Someone is acting against him. Someone wants to use me. Elias scrolled down. Another line. Hunters will retrieve the envoy before Hale discovers her presence. Lower the shield at 0200 for 1 minute. Elias felt sick. Someone in the colony is working with the rogue Sarathi, he whispered. And they want you captured, not killed. To start a war, Lasha said. With false evidence. With fear. Elias clenched his fists. We have to stop them. We have to show this to Hale. No. Lasha said quickly. You cannot show it to him yet. Lasha. Why not? Because your leaders may not believe you. They may accuse you of fabrication. They may shut you away. Elias took a deep breath. Then what do we do? Before Lasha could answer, the sound of metal scraping against stone echoed down the tunnel. Elias turned slowly. Red lights appeared in the darkness. 5 hunter drones. No, Elias whispered. How did they get in? Lasha stepped backward. They locked onto my signal when I interfaced with the console. Elias grabbed her hand. We have to run, now. Escape through the underworks. They ran into the upper tunnels, the drones crawling quickly behind them. Elias threw old tools and wires to slow them, but the machines pushed on. One drone fired a spark burst. Elias ducked, pulling Lasha down just in time. "This way," he gasped. He led her into a narrow shaft that sloped upward. The drones had trouble squeezing through, giving them a few seconds advantage. Lasha breathed hard. "They won't stop. They will keep coming." "I know," Elias said. "But we're not giving up." They reached a higher level, where the tunnel widened again. But when Elias turned a corner, he froze. A human figure stood in the path. A woman. Her clothes were clean and official colony uniform, senior rank. Mara Lynn. Director Hale's assistant. Except she wasn't alone. Behind her stood 2 armed guards. Mara Lynn smiled. "I knew you'd come down here eventually," Elias warned. Lasha stepped back, tense. Elias glared at Mara. "You're the one helping the hunters." Mara didn't deny it. "You should have stayed quiet, Elias. But now you've seen too much." Behind them, the drones crawled closer. Ahead of them, Mara blocked the exit. They were trapped. But Elias wasn't done. Lasha wasn't done. And the truth was finally coming to light. Elias stood frozen for a moment. Caught between danger, on both sides. Behind him, the hunter drones crawled closer, their red sensors glowing like small, hungry eyes. In front of him, Mara Lynn and 2 armed guards blocked the tunnel path, calm, confident, and clearly expecting him. Lasha moved slightly behind Elias, her breathing sharp but controlled. Mara gave a polite smile, as if this was nothing more than a formal meeting. "You have made things more difficult than necessary, Elias," she said. "We only wanted the envoy delivered quietly. There was no need for all this running." End quote. Elias clenched his fists. "You betrayed the colony. You helped the rogue Sarathi faction. You were ready to start a war." Mara tilted her head. "War creates opportunity. Humans grow stronger when they face threats. And the Sarathi faction promised us valuable technology in exchange for her." She pointed at Lasha. "Everyone wins." "No one wins," Elias said. "People die in wars." Mara sighed. "Unnecessary cost." The hunter drones behind Elias clicked closer. He felt the heat from their sensors touching his back. "We need to move," Lasha whispered urgently. Mara raised her hand. "They won't fire yet. They want her alive. But you, Elias." She nodded at the guards. "Take him." Both guards stepped forward. Elias stepped in front of Lasha. "You'll have to go through me." Mara gave him a cold smile. That was always the plan. A desperate move. As the guards approached, Lasha touched Elias's sleeve lightly. "Give me your tool," she whispered. "My tool?" "The power link. Now." Elias blinked, then quickly pulled the small rectangular device from his belt, the portable power transfer tool he used to restart broken machines. He handed it to her. Lasha stepped forward, raising the device toward the tunnel lights above. Blue energy pulsed around her fingers. The old lights flickered, then burst with a loud crack, plunging the tunnel into darkness. "What?" Mara shouted. The guards hesitated, blinded. The hunter drones, confused by the sudden loss of light, paused. Elias grabbed Lasha's hand. "Run!" They rushed into a side passage just as the drones regained their sensors. Sparks shot through the darkness, hitting the walls where Elias had been standing seconds earlier. "After them!" Mara's voice echoed. Elias and Lasha sprinted up the narrow shaft, stumbling but moving fast. Their breaths were loud, and the tunnel air grew warmer as they climbed upward. They finally reached a sealed hatch. "Locked," Elias said, pulling at the wheel. "We need time." Lasha touched the hatch panel. Her hand glowed softly. The lock clicked. The hatch opened. Elias stared. "You can open human doors too?" "Simple machines," Lasha answered. "Not all. But enough. They climbed up into a small service room. Elias sealed the hatch behind them and disabled the wheel. For now, the drones couldn't follow. But Mara still could. And she would. The central hub. Elias looked around the room. They were now close to the colony's central hub, the heart of Horizon Spire. From here, the colony controlled communications, power, and security. If we can reach the mainframe, Elias said, thinking aloud, we can broadcast Mara's message, all the files. Everyone will see the truth. Lasha nodded. And I can disable the hunters if I link with the machine. Elias looked at her carefully. Are you strong enough for that? You're exhausted. Lasha's violet eyes were calm. I must be strong. If I do nothing, your home is in danger. My people too. This is bigger than me. Elias felt a sharp respect for her. She wasn't just a scared visitor anymore, she was fighting for both their species. They ran down the maintenance walkway that led toward the central hub. But as they turned the corner, Elias froze. The hub was in chaos. Colonists ran between stations. Security officers shouted. The shield readings blinked red. Outside the wide observation window, more drones gathered, dozens now. Director Hale stood in the center, barking orders. Strengthen the shield batteries. I want patrol squads at every entrance. Elias stepped forward. Director Hale. Hale turned sharply. Ward, where have you? His voice stopped when he saw Lasha standing beside Elias. Hale's face tightened. You. I was told you didn't exist. Well, Elias said. She does. And you need to hear what we found. Hale frowned. Explain. Elias pulled out his terminal and projected the files from the mining tunnels, the captured messages, the secret orders, the proof of Mara's involvement. Hale's eyes widened. His jaw tightened. Mara Lynn, he whispered. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't expect this. A sudden alarm blared. Before Hale could respond, the doors to the hub flew open. Mara Lynn stood there, her guards behind her, and 3 hunter drones hovering at her sides. The room fell silent. The clash for truth. Mara, Hale said calmly, you betrayed the colony. Mara smiled faintly. No, Director. I improved it. You endangered lives, Hale said. You helped invaders. I helped the winning side, Mara replied. You should thank me later. She raised her hand. Take Lasha. The drones launched forward. Colonists scrambled back. Hale tried to pull his weapon, but a guard knocked it away. Elias stood in front of Lasha. This ends now. Lasha stepped forward, placing her hand on the mainframe console. Blue energy pulsed through her skin. The console lights flickered rapidly. What is she doing? Someone shouted. She's shutting them down, Elias said. Just protect her. 2 colonists rushed forward to block Mara's guards. Others grabbed tools to hold off the drones. One drone lunged at Lasha, but Elias smashed its sensor with a heavy wrench. It fell, sparking wildly. Keep going, Elias shouted. Lasha's glow grew brighter. Her eyes closed in concentration. Her body trembled from the effort. Through the hub's speakers, a deep hum rose like the sound of a giant machine waking. The drones jerked. Their red sensors flickered. Their legs twitched. Then, they froze. One by one, every hunter drone collapsed to the floor, their lights darkening. A wave of relief went through the room. Mara stared in disbelief. No, no. Get up. Continue the mission. But the drones didn't move. Director Hale stepped forward, eyes cold with authority. Mara Lynn, he said. You are under arrest. The guards hesitated, unsure whether to defend her or surrender. But seeing the drones dead, they slowly lowered their weapons. 2 security officers grabbed Mara's arms. She struggled for a moment, then stopped, realizing defeat. Elias turned to Lasha. She was still leaning against the console, breathing hard. Her glow faded slowly. "You did it," he said softly. She opened her eyes. "We did it." A new dawn. Hours later, the emergency alarms quieted. The drones were removed from the hub. Hale stood before the colonists with the broadcast screens showing the truth. Mara's messages, her betrayal, her plan to sell Horizon Spire into a secret war. The colony listened, shocked but grateful. When Hale finished, he approached Elias and Lasha. "You saved us," Hale said. "Both of you." Elias shrugged. "Just did what felt right." Lasha smiled faintly. "Humans are stronger than you know." Hale gave a thoughtful nod. "Lasha, you are welcome to stay at Horizon Spire as long as you choose. And when you're ready, we will assist you in contacting your people." Her expression softened. "Thank you." Elias felt a strange mix of relief and pride. The colony that once hid her now protected her, and the threat that chased her was gone. But their journey didn't end here. Outside the colony dome, the sun of Horizon Spire rose slowly, casting long shadows across the land. A new day. Elias turned to Lasha. "So, what now?" She smiled gently. "Now we build peace." He smiled back. "And maybe fix a few broken machines along the way." Lasha laughed softly, a warm, hopeful sound. Together, they walked out of the central hub, stepping into a future neither of them had expected, but both were ready for.